In this video we look at the rotation paradox, also known as the coin rotation paradox. The animation shows a large yellow circle and a small blue circle. The diameter of the yellow circle is 3 times that of the small circle. The question is how many times the small circle will rotate around its own axis if it is rolled once around the large circle. The answer may surprise you because it is not what you would expect. Since the diameter of the yellow circle is 3 times that of the blue circle, its circumference is also 3 times that of the blue circle. Therefore, one might expect that the blue circle would have to make a total of 3 rotations to complete 1 revolution on the yellow circle. However, this assumption is wrong, because the blue circle actually rotates a total of 4 times around its own axis. Let us now look at the animation and count the number of revolutions for a complete rotation. Each time the black arrow points down, the blue circle has obviously rotated once around its own axis. We can therefore see that the blue circle actually rotates a total of 4 times. What is the fallacy of the conclusion that if the yellow circle has 3 times the circumference of the blue circle does not make 3 revolutions, as one would probably prematurely expect? Actually, the answer of 3 revolutions is not completely wrong, because seen from the perspective of the yellow circle, the blue circle actually makes only 3 revolutions. Let's place ourselves in the center of the yellow circle and move along with the blue circle. We count the number of revolutions each time the arrow hits the surface of the yellow circle. We can therefore see that the blue circle actually only rotates 3 times from this perspective. However, as the moving observer has rotated once around its own axis, we must also take this rotation into account for an outside observer at rest. This results in 4 revolutions for the outside observer. How often the circle rotates is therefore a question of perspective. The fact that the blue circle always rotates once more for an outside observer than for an observer moving with the yellow circle can also be understood as follows. Even if the yellow circle is chosen to be infinitely small, the blue circle must still rotate at least once around itself for an outside observer. Therefore, the number of revolutions for a resting observer is 1 higher than for a moving observer. However, the fact that the diameter ratio must be increased by 1 for the number of revolutions only applies as long as the small circle rolls on the outside of the large circle. In this case, the rotation of the blue circle around its center of gravity is clockwise and therefore in the same direction as the rotation of its center of gravity around the large circle. If the small circle is rolled on the inside of the large circle, the small circle rotates around its center of gravity in the opposite direction to the movement of the center of gravity. In this case, the diameter ratio must be reduced by 1 in order to obtain the number of revolutions for an outside observer. In this case, the small circle therefore rotates twice around its own axis once it has completely traveled around the inside of the large circle. However, for a moving observer, it is still true that the small circle rolls 3 times on the inside of the large circle. An everyday example of the rotation paradox is the movement of the moon around the Earth. For us on Earth, the moon does not appear to rotate and therefore always shows us the same side. However, for an observer moving with the moon rotates once around itself during 1 orbit around the Earth. We can also understand the rotation paradox with the help of the Willis equation for planetary gears derived in the linked video. To do this, we consider the rotation paradox as a planetary gearbox in which the blue planet gear is driven around the stationary yellow sun gear with the help of the green carrier. The Willis equation describes the relationship between the rotational speed of the carrier, the planet gear and the sun gear as a function of the diameter of the planet gear and the sun gear. As the sun gear is at rest in this case, its rotational speed ns equals 0. The Willis equation is thus simplified as shown. This equation can now be solved for the rotational speed of the planet gear np, and the formula shown is obtained. The carrier now drives the planet gear once around the sun gear so that the number of revolutions of the carrier nc equals 1. In this case, the ratio of the diameters of the sun gear and planet gear is 3, resulting in 4 revolutions for the planet gear. The planet gear therefore rotates a total of 4 times around its own axis when it has been moved once around the sun gear, that is 3 times as large. We can now see directly from the equation that the diameter ratio must always be increased by 1 for the number of revolutions from the point of view of an observer at rest.